Have you ever time traveled before? In this episode, I am going to share some exclusive content from my Mystic Arts Academy, in which one of our members describes and asks about her jumping into parallel lives. So if this interests you, stay tuned. Hello, welcome to the Charmed Life YouTube channel. This channel is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. My name is Tricia Carr, and I am your host here. I am a spiritual teacher, multidimensional medium, empathic channel, animal telepath, and a hypnotherapist. And I would love for you to have more fun with us. If you like this video, please do like it. Please subscribe and share it and leave a comment. And of course, click the little bell so you can get notifications when we publish more videos. As I said, this video is talking about quite an esoteric topic. It's about quantum and parallel time travel, being able to inhabit parallel lives. Parallel lives essentially happen in everyone's life. One of the ways that it would happen is that if you were to be between making one decision or another decision, whichever one you make in this stream of incarnation unfolds, but the other possible choice also unfolds in another parallel timeline. So it kind of blows the mind a little bit when we're talking about time and from this quantum perspective. And so I have permission to share this exclusive content from the live class that I put on. And the actual class was about channeling Pleiadeans. And this was just before we got into the material. And we have Brooke Davis, who actually asks the question and shares her experience. So thank you so much to Brooke. You can find her information, her website, because she's an intuitive, she's a channel, she's a healer, she's amazing. And her information is in the description. So check out this awesome video about parallel time travel. You're having these experiences of parallel lives, and so it's a consciousness jump, correct?
Yes. It's happened when I got in the car and put my keys in the ignition, and I was like, wait a minute, and I all of a sudden I saw myself in a minivan with multiple kids in the back, and and this whole scene unfolded, and I was like, ooh, okay, there must be a reason for this. And I felt the feeling of what it would feel like if I took on the patterns of my mom, which I've been undoing and, creating new ones. So I know that there is something for me to learn. It's just so new. I'm just working with it and staying open. But I'm at that stage where I'm just allowing my mind to be rattled without trying to control it.
There are these experiences that you're having that are jumps in consciousness from what would be you, but it's just a different life. So some of the experience that I've had with this is, it almost feels like echoes. So you're having stronger than echoes. You're having actual moments of the parallel lives bleeding one into another. And so what I think is, when I've had echoes of it, it has to do with just encountering someone from my past, and then almost like the choices that I could have made, almost like showing up as an echo in my energy and distracting me. And if this is distracting, then yeah, you probably want to, bring your awareness and your attention into the one place, which is this life that you're creating. However, it could also be there because there's something to learn about those parallel, or something to just glean from it, those parallel experiences. So my suggestion is to actually go into meditation and review whichever, and just call, if it's more than one, it sounds like there's more than one that's showing up, but just review it. And it's really the same process as reviewing a past life. It's just that it happens to be a parallel life. And so we assume that the reason it's showing up, or the reason you're having these feelings, or is that there is some kind of resource in that energetic imagery that you are inhabiting spontaneously of a parallel life. So just know what you go in with is the knowing that whatever is to be learned has to do with this actual life, this incarnation, this, and that there's going to be some patterning that may even be more amplified than what's happening now, like when we have a past life review of being burned at the stake as a witch. Now, that doesn't happen in our Western world society, but, it could happen that your mother-in-law is rude to you because she thinks that what you do as a spiritual seeker is freaky and, not in alignment with her religion. That's a kind of persecution, but it's not as devastating as the other one. But when we review those alternate lives, I mean, all lives are happening right now. The parallel lives and the past lives and the future lives. And with parallel lives of the alternatives to this reality that you're conscious, this dispatch of your consciousness, this point of attraction that your consciousness is working with, those are usually they're often based on other potential choices. And those choices keep going on the other timeline. So if there was maybe someone else that you dated that you really fell in love with and you thought that person was going to be the one that you were going to wind up with, if you've fallen in love with anyone else, then there's probably parallel lives of you being with that person long term.
Yeah, it blows your mind.
And it's not about controlling it. It's actually about welcoming it in. So as you said, that as you kind of experience the scenes and that it's a bit enticing, that is what I was feeling when I shared, like I was hearing the echoes from another parallel timeline, because it was enticing. But at the same time, you kind of sober up and you're like, no, I don't want that. This is what I want, and I know I want it because I did create it and I chose it. So you're kind of working on some of the trust in your own sovereignty. But you also, the clue that you said there is that it's like you're removing some patterns that have to do with being like your mom or something like that. So what the gift of that is trying to be revealed there is that whatever patterns or choices the parallel Brooke made, that if you go and review them, you can sit, first of all, they're available to you to learn from anyway, even though you made a different choice. So that's cool. And then second of all, it helps you if you always know that I trust myself that I did create is the one that I choose, then I want to find my way back to it, glean all that I can glean from the parallel life and the alternate choices that a part of my soul has made. But then we get to come back here. And when you go and really observe it, it's like it just goes away. You forget about it. It's really interesting.
I don't need to integrate her at all. Like I don't need to, because I don't need to do like a healing of other selves and bringing them all in, because they're all, it's not like what I'm saying is it's not like like a child version of myself. It's not like that. It's probably different. Not. So I don't need to integrate or.
I mean, I don't think so. I would see you are integrated. You're integrated by the hub of whatever the soul dispatch is that created, this creating these different streams of incarnation. So you are. So it's not like you need to come together here. It's already together here. But what is available to you is almost like watching a movie or listening to someone else share their story. And you're like, oh, wow, I can so resonate with that. And you can really resonate with it because it's a version of yourself. So talk about just empathy.
It makes sense, because I was thinking of it as so different, but it's really not. It's just where you put your awareness. And that's what I'm working on now, is just allowing my mind to be blown and being with it. So that really helps. It's just a perspective shift and just welcoming and allowing and learning from it and just not needing for it to be anything other than it is. Or I do like to learn and study. And so I think that this is one of those things where if I'm not finding stuff online, it's because I'm meant to just allow my own journey to just happen and not need validation from what I find online or anything like that.
I do have an episode. It's both on YouTube and on my podcast, and it's on past. Actually, it's from Mystic Arts Academy, so you can go find it there too. It's on past lives, and I think, as I recall, I actually do lightly cover and say, this is parallel lives too, like all lives, basically like what we just said. So the way that what you can learn from past lives is the same thing you can learn from parallel lives. How all of it can benefit you. The difference is that it's so proximate to you, it fits even better, is what I would say. You know what I mean? Like, because you almost made those choices. Not like some witch or like which is fine. Or I'm not like, that's something that I haven't experienced now. So I wouldn't have that, to go off of. But because it's me, just different me, that's what's kind of rattled me at first, because it did feel familiar. And so what they told me too just now is that the reason that this happens sometimes where there's a parallel life bleeding one to the other, obviously there's something to learn and there's a gift there, but it's also because we're almost holding too tightly to this, that the container breaks a little bit. And so then we're getting a bleed in, and then we're like, no. Okay. You know what I mean? So if we can just expand And, you know, we'd, you know, maybe if we were not holding so tightly that we thought, wouldn't it be cool if I did have like 5 kids or whatever it is? And then you just kind of move on. But when you're kind of, your consciousness is jarringly occupying that, then it's just showing to you that there's an opportunity to be more at ease about your choices and actually validate your own choices even more.
Yeah. And really surrender to where I am now. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Super cool, super fun. Brooke is so awesome. We always have so many synchronicities going on, Brooke and I, as well as in the Mystic Arts Academy. So I hope you found something that you can like kind of feel some cool expansion about, found some tips about ways that you can experience other lives, whether they are parallel, past, or future. And I want to remind you again that I am on Instagram, so you can follow me there at triciacarcharm.com. We have a podcast that has its own content, so find the podcast, subscribe, and leave a review there. And of course, once again, I would love to invite you to comment, share. If you liked this video, please like it, and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you can get reminders of when we publish new cool stuff, dude. All right? Thank you so much for being here on my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.